Gentlemen, if you don't mind, we will record this session, and it will be available for you later on after the presentation. Please, if you have something on the contrary, let me know. Webcams, when switched on, will not be recorded. So your face and the name will not be recorded along with the webcams. This is good for us because it will be then available to you the chance to check this webinar again.
Va bene così. Eccoti. Guarda. Ok. Devi stare molto fermo. No, non è che sta andando tanto bene. Comunque. Va bene, lascialo così, sì, più o meno.
Okay. So Marco, I would like to start.
Yeah, let's start.
Thank you for joining, gentlemen. On the right on the screen, you will see Marco Branzanti.
Hello, everyone.
And this is Claudio Astorri. We are based in, as you know, in Anzola, near Bologna in Italy. And we're happy to host this webinar about VJ Pro, about the visual radio, to our friends, to our participants around the world. Marco, would you like to introduce this session?
Of course. We're going to assist to a session regarding a product called VJ Pro. It's a visual radio product. And just to get acquainted to what it does, I want to start with an introduction on the system we are working on. So I have Nicola with my iPhone, which is broadcasting to the mix. You see it in the screen capture pane on the left. So Nicola, just to zoom out a little bit to give the people the idea of what actually we have here. This is a desk, and it's a radio desk, which is usually installed in a radio studio. And what we have on the desk, let me put the camera on there again. So I'm going to go cut, let me put this in manual mode. Okay, so as you see, the desk, and it's we have our laptops on the desk, but of course we have all the radio equipment needed to go on air for a typical radio studio. So what do we have in a radio studio? I'll just show you the components so we get acquainted of what we have exactly. We have a mixing console, also referred to as an audio mixer. In this case, the console is Oxygen 3000, actually built and manufactured by Axel technology, and which is of course the main heart of the system. And then I have over here what is the radio automation software. So in this case, it's an Axel DJ Pro Classic. Okay, let me take the microphone out of the way. So the Axel DJ Pro Classic is the automation. What is the automation? It's the software and the computer hardware which allows us to play our commercials, our music, our time signals, our jingles, etc. Okay. Then, of course, typical of a radio studio, I have microphones.
Sorry to interrupt you. Are you still muted? Because maybe you're using
my
microphone.
yeah. Sorry. Here I am. Probably you hear better now. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. So what you have over here is a microphone. So actually in this studio, I have one microphone for the technician, for the host, and I have another two microphones on my desk, which are actually for my guests. So 1 and 2. Of course, I have headphones and loudspeakers to listen to the music. This is very typical for a radio studio. Now, let's see what we have more in order to talk about our system, which is the VJ Pro. VJ stands for Video DJ. So what do I have? Well, I have a video server, which is just this machine over here. I'll show you the GUI right away. Let me find my mouse. Yeah, there we are. And let me find my VJ Pro console, which is this one. You can see it right now. It's actually a video server with, I i7 processor and a Blackmagic Decklink board on top. It's a video card which allows us to manage professional video signals. And I have cameras, of course. So you can see a PTZ camera over there. Let me show it to you. Just a second. Here we are. So the PTZ camera from Panasonic. I have another PTZ camera on the back from Newtek. Okay, you see it right there. Okay, and a few lights, of course. And this is the components of our system. Okay. So, Claudio, if you allow me, I would start right away and show exactly what the purpose of the system is. So, in this precise moment, I'm going to air on the console. I'm going to air on the radio automation system. I'm going to go on air with the jingle. As soon as I go on air with the jingle, the effect is that actually the jingle is sent on there on the TV. So let's see it here. Actually, it's like this, automatic. There we go, and the jingle goes on there. So the purpose of the system is actually to reproduce on a video program, on a video output, exactly what is going on there on the radio station. So in this case, for example, okay, Nicola, I'm good now. For example, on my radio automation, I have on air a song by Bruno Mars, and I will get the exact song on air on TV. So if by any chance I skip to the next song on the radio automation, I'm skipping right now. I have a jingle on the radio automation, and a jingle on the video automation will go as well. And you can see the jingle on air on your GUI. And the next song is Filthy by Justin Timberlake. And of course, I have the same video clip directly on there. So the first concept is radio rules, right, Claudio?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so radio is the main actor, video follows audio. So whatever you do on the radio automation, the TV automation will do as well. And now I would introduce a concept of the media. How does the media actually go on air on radio and on TV? Well, some of our customers are big radio stations, and they have complicated workflows for their radio station. Their business is the radio, their main business. So, and the video clips, which are also usually supplied by, let's say, companies, have an audio track which does not have enough quality to actually go on air on radio. Most audio tracks or most video clips will have the video in H.264, audio will be an AAC, maybe at 192 kilobit. There are many radio stations, especially the big ones or the national ones, are going on air with uncompressed wave files. So essentially lossless. So this means the complete quality without compression. And so the audio coming from the video clip will not satisfy the quality measurements that they need in radio. For this reason, what the radio is untouched in the sense that whatever automation you have, if it's an Axel automation or it's a third-party automation, the audio going on the radio will continue to follow the same workflow. So with the same audio files that you use, they will continue to go on air the same way. While video uses, TV uses completely different files. So the two files are actually well separated. The two libraries, the two media are well separated. There's also another reason for this. When you install a VJ Pro, which is an add-on actually to the radio, we don't want you to change the workflow that you already have, which are working maybe many years working perfectly. So for this reason, the database for the video files and the video library is completely separated. So this introduces a matter of synchronism issues. So this means that if the two files are completely separated, when I go on around radio with a song, the TV song will be completely separated, so it won't be in sync with the radio station. Actually, this is not a real issue. Why? If I'm in my car listening to my radio, of course I'm listening to the good old audio I have always listened to. But if I'm watching TV at home, or I'm actually viewing the web stream from the web page of the radio station, and I'm listening to let's say the TV output, simply the audio and video coming from the video clip will be in sync between each other, not with the radio. They will be slightly out of sync. And then there are other concepts that we will explain later about how to sync some certain specific points of the song, which are the intro and other things. So, yes, Claudio, another thing I wish to talk about is taking a little bit of focus out of the technical part in order for us to see them later, is the editorial aspect of the product.
Yes.
So the product actually allows the radio station to implement the video system and go from media to multimedia, which means from only audio to actually a video audio signal, and in order to create a cross promotional channel for them. And radio stations, in my opinion, are quite aware of it. Radio stations have better websites than the video guys. They actually work a lot on social media in order to create engagement with their listeners. This is, I believe, another way for a radio station to get more engagement out of their listeners, and to actually start to do a cross promotion between the radio and TV.
Yes, the two main reasons are basically homes and large monitors. Uh, of course, radio is the king of mobile listenership. So we are the kings of mobile. So radio is very, very strong on mobile. We have some weak points at home where the TV set has become a sort of media center of all media within the home. And all radio sets, or in any case, radio sets, are in decreasing number in homes. So we have a lot of competition there in our homes. And the good idea for radio, the good chance for radio, is to have visual signal coming from the radio station that can, of course, be accessed and be viewed in a better way than the simple radio signal coming through the radio sets into the house, into the home. So reason number one, again, is for visual radio. Let us have a video into the TV set at homes. The reason number two is large monitors, because if you have any chance to be in large monitors in stores or whatever, in public, then having a visual radio is a good chance to have an increase of your coverage of your home listenership, because of course you can promote your logo and even your product and your programming very, very well. I think these are two main reasons why visual is successful, and we have worked very hard in Axel in order to have within this trend the best approach in the industry. Again, we believe radio rules. We believe radio should not change its organization. People should work the way they do normally. So you will see a lot of automation, a lot of innovation as well, and everything has been thought to give you hosts in radio, directors in radio, exactly the same feel they had before the visual radio. On the other hand, I must say that the nice thing about this is that when you step into a visual radio, something changes in the imagination and also in the feeling in the radio station, because you step into a form of new media. It's not radio anymore. It's radio and visual radio. It's an interesting form of expression that is not only imagination based, but now is also visual based. And as radio is a medium that is very resilient, very flexible. This is a nice opportunity to expand the reach, to expand your chances. Now back to the software,
Okay.
back to the DJ Pro system.
So we've seen that whatever media I put on my radio automation, the video follows. And this does not only include the jingles and songs, but also news, commercials, and time sync. So what happens is when you create a radio playlist, you're actually creating at the same time a video playlist, which is very interactive. So the VJ Pro monitors continuously what's happening on your radio automation. So actually the host or the DJ can actually make manual interventions on the fly, and the same effect will follow always on the TV output. Next step that I want to explore with you is the cameras. So whenever on radio you start talking on air, so I'm going to do that right now. What I'm going to do is simply open the fader of the first microphone. So let me put this guy here. So you see me on preview. I'm here actually. It's going to be this way. Sorry, left to right. So what happens is when I open the fader of the microphone, you will see that instantaneously I'm going on air. And that's the right pane. The right pane of the vMix interface is actually the program output. So as long as I have my fader up, the camera will stay on air. What happens? Well, the VJ Pro is connected to the console. There are various ways of connecting third-party consoles through TCP/IP or through simple GPIs. Most of consoles have what are called start fader start. So interfacing the faders to the VJ Pro will tell the VJ Pro when you're actually on there with your microphone. If I open a second fader, which is relative to another microphone, what happens is the system will start automatically changing between one camera and the other in order to create the slideshow and be less monotonous, a little more lively. Not only you've seen some graphics going on here on the bottom left part, you see live map show. This is a logo we've used at NAB. And so whenever I'm going live with the microphone, the system can be programmed to actually put on air some nice graphical content. We're going to get to the graphics as well. But so the real concept now, we've seen the start of it. It's whenever I'm live with microphones, according to the combination of the faders, I get my nice slideshow of cameras on air, following only the microphones which are actually on air. And whenever I put down the microphone, since I finished speaking, well, then the video server will take over and follow whatever is on air. So at this time, I have Ed Sheeran on air with Shape of You. And as you see, same video clip on there with graphics. That's the graphics that you just seen. I was talking in the wrong microphone. I was actually talking in the radio microphone. Sorry about that. What actually you've seen is a CG. We call it song info, and it takes the information directly from the radio automation. So no copying data or text is involved. So that's also a very practical thing about the automation. So I want to talk to you a little bit about video quality. There are many systems which actually on the market available, which actually kind of try to automate, like the VJ Pro, a visual radio approach. Many of these systems are actually the video is processed all inside the computer. So actually the video mixer is inside the computer. In this case, we also have a video mixer inside the computer. We do not build it. It's called vMix. It's a very, let's say, cost-effective product. But actually the VJ Pro outputs, the VJ Pro server outputs through a card, a broadcast video card, in SDI, which is a high definition or 3G up to 4K. And it actually gives you two video outputs, what we call player A. I'll just switch here to the GUI of the VJ Pro. From player A, which you see on the left, which is the one which is actually playing right now, the commercial, and player B. So you get two video outputs out of the video server. Then you get an additional video output over two connectors of the graphics in key and fill. This is kind of a technical let's say, specification, but having graphics in key and fill is a characteristic of the high-end part of the market. The same market which uses big video mixer to put their graphics on there. Key and fill give you the advantage of having very high quality graphics with transparencies as well, being superimposed by an external video device. So that's one of the main characteristics of the VJ Pro. The quality coming out of the system is broadcast quality, which means it can really be broadcast on a satellite, on a digital terrestrial, on an analog terrestrial, or via cable, and the quality will be comparable of that of a normal national TV station. It's digital, SDI, it's real video. It's not a video coming out of the computer, okay? A video coming out of the computer is usually progressive. It has some, well, frame rate synchronism issues. It's not really something which is considered to broadcast on air. Could be good to go to your website. So an output from the website, the IP video does not require the same quality of broadcast. So this system is intended to go on air at very high quality. Then you can decide actually what type of video mixer you want to use. We suggest always to use a very, let's say, cost-effective traditional video mixer, like the Blackmagic Atom. It's a SDI, real-time, FPGA, low delay, high-quality video mixer, and it's not expensive. We also support TriCaster. We are partners with and use TriCaster machines a lot in our integration system. Of course, the system that we've just shown you, which is the vMix, which is this one over here, can be used as well. We're using vMix now because it's particularly helpful in order to display the video sources and the audio sources. vMix is a solution that we can provide. For sure, it's not comparable to PC-based solution. It is a software, but it uses broadcast video cards to reproduce the video. So the video output is broadcast quality, and it's quite cost-effective. I think to copy the license and the version that we use of vMix is something like $350 US. So this is kind of the minimum application that you can use together with VJ Pro. But you can go much higher. We have customers which are acquainted with Grass Valley or with Ross, or maybe you already have a video mixer in the house because the radio station is also a TV station. We can interface to any remote controllable video mixer of any quality, also scale it up. So that's the major advantage of the VJ Pro. The VJ Pro is really a broadcast quality product. Okay. Then, of course, we need to talk a little bit about cameras, okay? In this case, I'm going to show it here, or here better. You see it. Here it is. So you see I have a PTZ camera from Panasonic. Of course, we interface with any type of camera, as long as it's SDI based. If you have an SDI mixer, you need an SDI camera. Here, the quality of the camera really depends on the budget that you have. So, PTZ from Panasonic, from JVC, from Sony, or even broadcast cameras, 4K camera, why not? We do not limit the external video architecture that can be flexible, scaled up and down to your needs. In many integration, we use cameras which are called lipstick cameras, which have HD SDI output. If you're using vMix or NewTek TriCaster, for example, the cameras can be NDI, which is a new standard of video over IP signals. So we also support NDI in the VJ Pro, so we can send the videos coming out from the two players. I will show you again. Okay, the videos coming out from the two players and the graphics can be outputted directly in NDI. So it's very flexible configuration, I would say. You can use any video mixer, any technology in order to accomplish the right quality that you need for the broadcast. Of course, you can not only go on satellite, what you can do is you can put an encoder in your system. So not only satellite, terrestrial, and cable television, but with an encoder, you can go to RT in RTMP to your CDN, distribute your video signal directly to your website, and then your users can actually see the IP stream, the TV output channel, the visual radio channel directly on the website. Or, like many radio stations do, you can create an application, maybe for iOS, for your iPhone, or for Android, in order for the system to listen to the audio stream or to actually see the video stream directly from the app. I want to show you another thing, which is here. If you have a vMix, vMix is kind of a really multi-purpose software. You have not only the possibility and right now as an external renderer. This means I'm using a Blackmagic video card, so I'm outputting an SDI signal in high quality, but you also have a streaming output. So you can actually use the same software as an encoder, so you don't need an add-on encoder, and just stream it out to your CDN and distribute to your users.
Thank you, Marco. Just a quick break to check if everybody is okay during the webinar regarding webcams, regarding microphones. We're welcoming other participants that have joined us in a few minutes ago. Thank you for coming, Vladimir. Thank you for coming, Gianluca. Thank you to everybody. Just let me say, apart from Marco's words, that this is a very simple system. I want to stress simplicity. With the 8 widgets you see on the screen of the VJ Pro console, you're done. So I think high quality, high technology, simple use is a magic combination that VJ Pro offers to the clients and the radio stations around the world. I want to say that simplicity is also on the fact that you can use VJ Pro with any automation system, as Marco told, in any mixing console. This is something that is absolutely flexible. Axel technology is working to have VJ Pro working with your existing automation system and with your existing console. Of course, there are recommendations, specs, but we'll do that for you. And we're definitely looking forward to interfacing VJ Pro into your radio station. Simplicity is, for example, that graphics are within the system. You must not create necessarily graphic outside of the system. What you add to the video can be done thanks to the CG Composer. It's an internal editor. You see, this is the graphics, one of the 8 ones. At present time, we are having a monitor showing the breaking news coming. Breaking news, thanks to the CG Composer, can be completely edited. Of course, you select the feed, but you can increase, of course, the character. You can increase the size, you can change color, and can place whatever you want. You also have a way for interaction, as in any case, visual radio should increase interaction also with the listeners. You can show your socials, you can show your WhatsApp contacts and whatsoever. You can show time, you can show, for example, live, when you are live from the studio, or maybe you are on remote externally during an event or outside the radio station. So graphics is very, very powerful, but the good thing is that it is connected to the kind of events coming from radio. And this is another thing that allows radio technicians or radio hosts to work exactly the way they did and they should do. You see here, we have classified, we have selected the events coming from radio. We have songs, news, ID jingles, advertising. And if you look on the right, depending on the event, we have selected a specific graphic behavior that VJ Pro should offer directly on the video. So, for example, the songs you see, we have the song info coming out, and we also have the logo coming out. The logo is the Axel one, and the song info is the information of the title and the artist. With news, as you saw, we use the breaking news, but we could use different graphic files. And so for each kind of event, you have an automatic placement, I would say, of the graphics directly on the screen. Very easy, very simple, automatic. You can even have your monitor, the VJ Pro console, switched off while jobs are on the air, while people talk on the air. Thank you, Marco. He opened now the CG Composer. You see, it's a full editor for video, and we can import into the CG Composer whatever we want. Marco is changing size. You see, is moving around the screen paradox, and yes, and you can see that we can import media, we can import logo, we can import slideshow, animations also as well. So it's, well, it's funny, but of course professional work. But thanking to CG Composer, you can do this within the suite. So you have no problem on using necessarily external external. I think you're importing something, Marco.
Yeah.
You want to joke. You fell into the joke.
Animation. So
he wants an animation to be on, and he's getting from the computer now an animation. Of course, it could be the logo of your radio station being played in some way, and whatsoever. So you see this is the import of the animation you saw.
Let me show you bigger.
Bigger. Okay. So graphics is, you see, very easy. You have events and you have connected graphics behavior. And whenever you have a song, that's certain graphic behavior. And that's really easy. We have more in any case, because simplicity is great also for the switcher, for example.
Yes. So as I told you, remote control of the video switcher is actually done by the VJ Pro. So we generate player A and player B events. So what the VJ Pro is actually doing is sending this command to the switcher, in this case vMix, but in other cases Atom or TriCast or other ones. And well, actually imagine, as Claudio said, that you could actually keep this GUI off because the system is completely automatic. Who is doing who is the director, the video director, is actually the audio guy in front of the console. While he's operating on the radio automation and on the radio console, he's actually doing copying the same behavior unconsciously to the video signal, to the video channel. But if any case somebody wants to, add a little something to the on-air process manually, you can always take control of the single elements. You see the graphics and now the switcher. And simply with the switcher, what we're doing is we're actually simply going on air with one camera or the other. I will show you like this. Okay, so as you see, I can put on there some cameras. Camera 1, there you have it. Camera 2, there you have it. Or just go automatic. Now, automatically, the VJ Pro knows what's supposed to go on air according to the combination of the faders on the console. And he will just take over the switcher and do it as you wish. Something regarding the cameras, which is kind of very interesting. So how are the cameras connected? Let me take the microphone out of the way. There we go. How are the cameras connected actually to the system? Well, the VJ Pro configuration here will show us a little better how it's done. It's kind of interesting. So the VJ Pro is connected to a GPI device. GPI means General Purpose Interface. Actually, it's just a switch. It's two cable making contacts between each other. It's the simplest type of interface that we can imagine. In this case, the GPI is virtual with the Oxygen 3000, which is the console made by Axel. So it's based on TCP/IP communication. Mostly, we use a device which is manufactured by Maxa. Maxa is a pretty good manufacturer for this type of device. And it's a converter between the LAN and the GPI contacts, so you can position it easily anywhere as long as it's connected to your LAN. And what it does, we connect these to the faders of the microphones. So the faders usually have a start-stop function, which actually gives GPI impulses on the back of your console. So these faders are usually associated to microphones. Here we see the list of the microphones. There's an association between microphones and GPI. And then we have an association between cameras and microphones. Why? Well, simply because you can have more than one camera, which is actually shooting the microphone. So what happens is if I go on there with a single mic, like right now, I'm on there with a single mic, go to my GUI, here we are. So if the microphone has a single camera shooting it, then it will stay only on that camera. But if I have more than one camera shooting the same microphone, automatically the system will start a slideshow between all those cameras. So if I hire the second microphone fader and I have cameras which are shooting on that microphone, simply those cameras, one or more, will start also to be part of the slideshow. The slideshow is actually a time-based slideshow. It's something just to, change the scene a little bit, move the images and the videos a little bit, and actually you can customize the timing yourself, telling him if a little more random or a little less random as far as time is concerned, minimum quantity of seconds that you want to keep on the same shot, etc. Optionally, you can install an audio card in the VJ Pro server and connect the audio console to the audio card. In this case, the VJ Pro can actually listen to the audio levels of the microphones. And this is also a nice workflow. So why? Why do we do this? In order to, in order to actually monitor who is talking in a specific moment. Usually in that workflow, you define a host. So the host always has priority over the guests. And if the host is not talking, then the system will actually monitor who among the guests is talking louder. And who among the guests is talking louder will have, let's say, a priority and a longer, let's say, shot with the cameras of his microphone. So that's actually how the system is managed.
Well, let me tell you that we are open to questions. We will keep on, we will continue with the presentation, but if you want to make questions to Marco and to me, you can do in two ways, either talking directly, opening the microphone, and we will hear from you, or you can use the chat you have in the control panel and just type the question you want Marco or me to be answered, and we will be very happy to do so. Okay, so again, either we switch on the microphone or you type the question. Please feel free to do this, to make questions at any time.
Okay, something more regarding the cameras. As you see, I have a PTZ camera here. PTZ cameras are quite nice because they allow us to get more shots into our scene. The sense is, the more cameras, how many cameras do we need in a radio studio to do a correct visual radio? Well, it really depends on the number of microphones. I would say at least one camera on the host, better if two, and then one or more cameras for every guest microphone. So like in this setup, I have 3 microphones, including mine. At least I would need like 3 or 4 cameras to make it nice. Another way of saying it, another way of configuring it is with PTZ camera. I just want to show in the GUI of the VJ Pro console, I have a widget for the control of the cameras. So I can actually zoom in, zoom out, position, etc. And let me just show you. I'm going to select position 1, and you can see the camera which is moving automatically. Of course, I wouldn't do this on air. What the meaning of this is that I can associate camera positions to microphones. So in the slideshow of the different cameras, the system, the VJ Pro, will actually move the camera from one position to the other according to the microphone which I'm using. In one sense, I'm saving to buy more cameras. And the other way, I have to say that PTZ cameras are more expensive than normal lipstick cameras. So at the end, it doesn't really change much. But you need to know that we are compatible with all the brands of the camera market. Panasonic, Sony, Newtek, Lumens, generic PTZ, we support all of them. One thing, just one thing, when you're talking about cameras, please avoid to buy cameras which are IP based. Usually these cameras are H.264 output. This is more a standard which was made for video surveillance, even though there are Sony cameras and Panasonic cameras which do provide IP output. This is not preferable just because the IP output will have some delay and it's not really a broadcast signal. Always do prefer SDI or NDI. People will say, but NDI is also an IP. Yes, but NDI is video over IP, high quality, low latency. It's made as a standard made for production. While H.264 coming out of the video camera is more like video streaming. It's for surveillance. So try to avoid that type of architecture because it's not considered broadcast. So Claudio was saying you have a question?
3 questions.
Yes, let's go.
We have Jean-Peter, hello. Can you connect a micro signal live wire to detect the levels?
Oh, that's kind of interesting. I would say yes, in the sense that a live wire is actually a standard of audio over IP. Audio over IP is like video over IP. It's low latency, high quality audio used for production, not for distribution. Just to distinguish, we're talking a lot about IP, but the IP world needs to be divided in two, right? Distribution for the public, high latency, low quality. Then we are using IP today in our production facilities. So low latency, high quality, and that's audio and video over IP. So live wire is a standard made by Axel. We've already interfaced Axel consoles with our VJ Pro. And I will talk to you about the audio routing issue, which is kind of interesting. Yes, if you install the live wire Axel driver, the virtual driver, inside the computer, you don't need an audio card because it's a virtual audio card and we detect the audio levels directly from there. It works in combination with the GPI, not instead of the GPI. So the GPI knows which microphones are on and which microphones are off, and then the VJ Pro goes and looks at the audio levels in order to choose which camera that goes on.
Okay, great. Okay. Second question coming from Ventura Blanco, I think. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Claudio. Is it possible to see a real screen that you have in any running customer so we can see in a real situation how the algorithm for changing cameras is working?
That's right. Oh, of course. I have a couple of radios, actually. There's a radio station which broadcasts here at Bologna. It's very near Bologna. We're in Italy, where we are based. It's called the Radio Bruno. Radio Bruno, maybe I can...
B-R-U-N-O.
Maybe you can type the website. Should be www.radiobruno.it. Something like that. Maybe you can look it up and you can type it for everybody to see. Radio Bruno is it's a big radio station. It wants quality on air, very good database, very good image, very nice studio. People that take their business seriously. It's a private company, but very nice. And the other one I would suggest, which is, Radio Bruno was one of our early beta testers a couple of years ago when the project started. And a Radio Company is another one, very nice one. It's based in Padova, a big radio station. They have a very big audio archive. They were very, very concentrating in associating the video clips to the audio database in a very, very precise manner, so they don't have any blanks, what we call them, which means our audio files which do not have any video files connected to each other. And one of the things of Radio Company do not only look at how the video switching is made, they are very, very good on graphics. What does this mean? They do not only use the automatic graphics built in the VJ Pro, but also VJ Pro provides what is called REST APIs, which are commands that you can send from external system to the VJ Pro in order to put on air the graphics. So
So they have their own, let's say, data acquisition center. They get news, they get weather forecast, they get traffic forecast. So during the songs, you will see some graphics popping up here and there, which are very nice, which actually, you know, they give them a little bit of information to get the song to boring, you know, to pump it up a little bit. And that's a very, very nice thing to look at as well.
Thanking also to the friends of Sidemaster who are coming to you as well. In the meantime, Mohammed was sent us a question. If I have a recording song, how I can present it? How can I present its video if it is MP3? What will be presented?
Okay.
So I think
I
must distinguish.
Right. Let's see. One of the thing about the radio and video automation, as I said, it's media separation. So the MP3 file will be inserted into the radio automation independently. Of course, what you need to do to start up the system is you will start downloading or getting all the video clips which correspond to your audio archive. Many people get these from YouTube, from the radio companies, how do you call them? The record companies that actually supply the audio files will supply you also the video files. And there's kind of actually there's a big market going around, you know, the video clips and ways to get them. It's important that you get as many as you can, first of all. The second thing I want to show you is that in the layouts config, if you don't have a video clip or that specific MP3 file, this will be interpreted by the system as an exception. And we have, if I don't have a video clip, if I have a live, or if the video is shorter than the audio, which is usually not very common, usually video clips will be longer, right, than the audio. Then you can tell the system to switch to a video source, or, for example, to play randomly from other folders, maybe where you get some video clips or so forth. Of course, this should happen as less as possible. So that's one of the things, maybe the only thing that you really need to do in order to get the system started and running is every time you put something in the database, you find the proper video to follow it. In this way, the video output will always be perfect and aligned. In case you don't have it, Exception Manager will put something else on there. Of course, with that ambiguity. That's it.
Okay. Hello, Sidemaster. Thank you guys for joining our webinar. Welcome to the VJ Pro webinar. The question is the following. Hello, can you swap your camera position? Since in our screen, you are both looking to different sides.
Okay. So how do I do that? Can I swap? Yeah, because actually we're using the webcam, I think.
Yes, you're seeing on the upper part of the screen our webcams.
Okay.
You can even reduce or even cancel that position.
Okay.
And then you see.
Yeah, this one over here, right?
You see this one over here.
So this is my webcam. Hello, everyone. This is my webcam, where I also have my microphone. And on the bottom screen, what you do see is the video mixer. Okay. So I'll try to talk to my USB camera from now on. Okay. Audio routine.
Audio routine, please.
Okay. So one of the things that DJs like to do is actually, let me lower this camera a little bit to get a better shot. Maybe I can get a shot on the mixer. Let me see. Cam 1, down. Does it go down or up? Up, oh, there it is. Down, down, down. Yeah, I can have a little view of the mixer, actually. Look at that, okay? That's the most down I can get, okay? So let me see it here. There you have it, okay. So this is my mixer. And one of the things that the DJs like to do a lot is actually use the faders and talk and use the fader up and down to actually talk over the music, okay? This is very typical in the radio studios. Imagine that in some studios, they actually put what is the studio fader and they put it on the guest side on the other side in order for for the DJ, which can be in the studio also to do this, like a voice over, let's say, okay? So what I'm actually doing with this operation is I'm lowering the music and then listening to my voice on top of the music. So this is true for radio, but we also want to achieve the same effect also on the TV output. So how is this done? It's done with a typical advanced routing. What do? We take the audio out of the two video outputs of the video server. How do we do this? If it's an SDI, we add two SDI de-embedders. So we take that audio, we plug it back into the console, and with a single fader, what we program and we set up the console in order that with a single fader, we're not only lowering the radio automation volume, but we're also lowering the de-embedded audio coming from the video server, and then sending it back to be re-embedded together with the cameras and the microphones. So this is a very advanced routing, I would say. Most of the digital consoles will actually have this setting. We have done this successfully both with Studer and Axia consoles. Of course, the Oxygen 3000 by Axel supports this feature, but there are many consoles, especially analog consoles, which actually do not have this feature. So in that case, the only way to achieve this specific goal is actually to mechanically, let's say, link together two faders like this. You can see it on the bottom of the screen, in order to always use two faders up and down. One will be used for lowering the radio volume. The other will be used to raise and lower the TV volume. You can also put something fixed and mechanical, like in the old consoles, when the consoles were only with mono faders, and then you would link with something hardware the two faders in order to manage the stereo output, something like this. But the effect is really cool. Why? The DJ can talk over his music and lower up and down, and he's going to get that same effect also on TV, because microphone and telephone hybrids go directly to radio and TV. Wow! Radio automation goes only to radio, TV automation goes only on TV. And that's how we separate the two signals. The advantage of this is that we are doing real-time TV as real-time audio. So we never have lip sync problems. It's just a real TV station with a micro, like if it was a microphone, etc. It's not actually managed inside the computer. If there's some delay, it will be introduced by the equipment, which is afterwards, and so it will be managed.
I think this is a way to maintain the promise, radio rules, and the second one is no change in the organizational chart. So this is a very nice feature. Let me add, Marco, a question coming from Ventura Blanco as well. Sorry, Claudio, I'm trying to find a live stream with microphone changing cameras in the two link you wrote, but I can't find any. Could you please help? But by the way, probably now the stations have no double job on the air.
But it's over here, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Actually, I have a TV in my car, and Radio Bruno is usually on air when we quit at 6 o'clock. Let me help you find the link. So I'm going to go to Radio Bruno, the link, but you should here find live TV. Here it is, Guarda la TV, which means look at the TV. So that's how you get your TV, and this would be the stream. So on the right part, just Guarda la TV, and okay, there's a video clip. Probably you need to wait for the beginning of a program. Right now it's 4 p.m. I think there should be programs. Usually, remember, now they have some news on air and radio, and this is something we need to talk about. They have news on air on TV as well, and we'll see how that can be done. Okay.
In any case, if you have difficulties, we will send you a recording of that, so we can assist from here.
Right.
But I think both on Radio Bruno and Radio Company, several shows have at least 2 hosts so you should find
right.
the microphone.
Do remember, I think drive time is the best time. So maybe in a couple of hours, I think they will start with their main programming.
Company is very good since from 6 p.m. as well.
Correct, correct. Main program. Okay. So let me talk about the, okay, so we were talking about hiring and lowering the audio background and all doing this simultaneously on radio and TV. Now, I'd like to talk about synchronization and intro points. As you know, in the radio station, usually the DJ likes to talk over the beginning of the song until the singer starts singing. That time is called intro. And on the radio automation, you actually have a countdown which tells the DJ how much time is left until the singer starts singing. So usually what you will do, you will synchronize the video clip with the audio track in order to get that intro point at the same moment. Usually the video clip is longer, it doesn't have the same sync, sometimes it doesn't even have the same beats. It really depends, you know, on who made the video clip and how they actually told the story. That's the issue. So it's going to be very different, and it's going to be very hard to find a perfect match on a person lip sync. We give a tool which is called the Xtrimmer, and that's the only piece of software that the radio guys actually need to use, which allows you to define these synchronism options between the radio and the TV. So you will actually compare the radio and the TV audio tracks, and you can sync the intro. So when the DJ lowers his fader on the mixer, talking over the song, and looks at the intro countdown, simply when the intro countdown goes to 0, he will higher his volume, the singer will start singing, and this will happen simultaneously on radio and on TV. So that's the end of the audio routing and audio syncing issue, which is always very difficult.
If you allow me, Marco, just a quick break regarding sales, commercial, and whatever. I think it's quite relevant. We're around about at the half of this webinar.
Correct.
Enrico is not showing yet, but he will probably come to say hello.
Very good.
Enrico Vaccari is the sales manager, and I'm sure the persons connected to this webinar should know him already. We have then Stefano Greco working as channel director, working mainly on distributors, and of course Simona and Claudio and Claudia working also with Stefano and Enrico as well. So we have a nice team of persons working on sales that you already should know. You can address your questions to them as well. And when they create a project for you, they definitely take advantage of asking Marco, asking the technicians, of asking the expertise within Axel technology. So feel free to contact them, and they are happy to assist you. What is presented now is a certain box. It's a server with a sort of server and software, of course, that can be connected, again, I want to stress this, to any automation system and to any mixing console. And of course, please feel free to ask about your needs, and we will certainly give you an answer on that.
Very good. So I would actually sum up a little bit, if you allow me, in order to understand exactly what are we selling, what are we seeing here, how do you do this? Well, okay, on the back, as you can see, let me show you with the video, on the back, there's a TV system, okay? So we're not selling that today, okay? What we are actually trying to demonstrate is that a system which is the VJ Pro. What is the VJ Pro? The VJ Pro is a turnkey solution. It's a computer-based hardware, 4 rack units. So it's a video server, let's say. Internally, we have some hard disk to keep your video clips and your media redundant for terabyte. And then we have a Blackmagic video card with 4 connectors, which are player A, player B, key, and fill, okay? And of course, the software application running on the system to actually run the the visual radio system. Okay, so that's what the actually product that we are selling. Then, of course, in order for it to work, it needs to be integrated into a radio workflow. What does this mean? You need a radio studio, of course. You need a radio automation, which can be Axel or any third-party automation. You need the console, preferably, okay, it can be Axel, but also third-party. It needs GPIs on the back for your start-stop, okay? It needs digital routing inside, if possible, or else we use the ice cream stick trick, okay? Very good. And then what else do you need? You need cameras, okay? Of course, can be lipstick, can be PTZ, can be low quality SDI, can be broadcast quality SDI. This is on you, okay? And then what else do you need? Well, you need some lighting in the studio and usually some scenery in the studio. Nice background, some video monitors on the wall to show some videos rolling. You know, it has to be, usually radio studios are a little small, while normally TV studios need a little more space. Last thing, you need a video mixer. The video mixer we suggest always is an ATEM, which is a traditional SDI HD 4K video mixer, but you can also use a TriCaster, a vMix, or any model of a video mixer. Okay, so the package allows you to create a real TV channel, a TV channel which goes on air 24/7, and what will go on air is the video, let's say, interpretation of whatever the radio does. Song on air, song on radio, same song on TV. Jingle on radio, same jingle on TV. Let's talk about commercial. If you play Coca-Cola on your radio station, you have a choice. You can play Coca-Cola on your TV station. You can play Pepsi-Cola on your TV station. You can actually play the audio of Coca-Cola coming from the radio, maybe with just a flying logo on the screen. Or we sell an optional software, which is a advertisement and billing management system. With that system, you're able to plan out your radio breaks completely separately from your TV breaks. So what else? When you have any live program, what you will have is, according to the combination of the faders that you are using on your audio console, automatically you get your cameras on there with the slideshow and everything. So essentially speaking, it's actually a system which has a very, very low cost of ownership. You are able to run a TV signal, a TV channel, simply running with the same cost of the radio station. So there's no added maintenance cost, the cost of ownership, there's no added cost. Of course, you have the cost of investment for the VJ Pro console, which Enrico will introduce right now, and of course, the cameras, the lighting, and everything else. One more thing, broadcast quality. Beware, there are many systems on the market which produce output coming out of the VGA of the computer. This is not a broadcast quality product. It's maybe good for IP streaming, low quality streams, but if you want to get out with quality which is equivalent with one of a normal TV station, so we're talking HD SDI, 4K SDI, this system allows you to do that because we remote control video mixer, an external video mixer, which you can choose, and then you connect your cameras directly to that device. So choosing the equipment, you're actually, according to your budget, you're actually choosing the quality of the video that you want to put on there.
Okay, thank you, Marco. We have named a few minutes ago Enrico Vaccari, and he appeared. He's here. Hi, everybody. This morning we had his father, Dr. Vaccari, at the Italian webinar, and now we have the son here in the afternoon. Enrico, you probably all know, is the sales manager, and he'd like to say hello to you, please.
Hello, everybody. Maybe someone of you already knows me. We met somewhere around the world in some of the exhibition, or maybe visiting your place as well. I think my part is mainly to highlight the setup you are showing and how it can be assembled together in order to offer that solution or to buy it for yourself. Essentially, the system is made, as Martin already told you, about the visual radio automation, VJ Pro, a console, and a radio automation, which is the main driver of the show. Me and my colleagues from the sales department are available to assist you in configuring solutions that match your requirements. So most of the customers, or most of you, may for sure already have or a radio automation or a console, so we can help you to integrate the VJ Pro with the existing equipment without, let's say, wasting or obliging you to renew and change them with some new stuff. So I'll be pleased and happy to receive your inquiries and help you in setting up a new visual radio, which is a real modern trend on the market all over the world.
Thank you, Enrico. I think they know
so much.
They know your email, but would you like to tell your contact again?
To make it short and easy, you can refer to sales@axeltechnology.com, or as well to your reference, the reference you have today in our sales department. That can be or Stefano, or Simona, or Cristiano, or some of the other emails that you have in your mailings.
Thank you so much, Enrico.
Thank you,
everybody. Hope to see you soon.
We have a,
Bye.
Bye, Enrico. We have a question coming from Sidemaster again.
Very good.
And it's a very simple one, I must say. They're asking, where can we get the video clips?
Okay.
Can we download from YouTube? Do we need to pay some tax? Well, it depends on the legal and about the law in the country you are transmitting, of course.
Correct, correct.
But certainly we recommend you pay your duties.
Well, of course, we don't want to suggest any illegal interaction. I have to give you some examples of countries.
Yes.
So first of all, download from YouTube, yes. There are free ways of getting the video clips. Paying ways, people in the past have gotten them from iTunes, and they were actually paying for the video clips. Getting them from the record companies. But the issue is radio stations will actually be very aware about these issues. Why? The same radio stations nowadays, they don't buy CDs anymore, as far as I know. They actually get the audio files directly from the record companies. So in the same way, video clips can be get in the same way. So usually radio stations will be very aware of how to get their media. And also, they be very aware about the rights, because they are already paying, usually in many countries, they pay rights for going out broadcasting on the radio.
A lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. Usually there are many countries, radios and TVs make like an agreement with the Institute for managing the rights in their country, and usually the agreement is something which is related to the total turnover of business of the country, right? Something like that. But it really depends country to country. For sure, I can tell you something relevant. There's a very interesting streaming service on YouTube, which allows you to create your own channel and get free streaming CDN from YouTube. Many people are using it, but you can't use it for streaming video clips. Why? They have YouTube has a internal fingerprinting method. As soon as you put a video clip in for which you do not have international rights, they will immediately block the stream. So the streaming rights issue is relevant, not only to your own country, but also if your stream is available for the rest of the world. Like right now, you are able to see the streams coming on from Radio Bruno and Radio Company. Actually, also this should not be allowed. And the big radio station, national radio station, actually block their video streaming on the web for third-party countries. This is becoming something very relevant in the last years. Imagine that many of the services, especially for video on demand, for programs, novellas, fiction, which was coming in from the United States, Since last year, they all have blocked the access out of the United States or Mexico. So people are in this precise moment are kind of creating the borders which were never there in the internet, and that was the nice part of it. But they're actually creating these borders. So these borders also influence the rights and international rights. So it's a complex matter, I think, but usually the radio stations will be very aware of the issue.
Great. Any other question? No, I don't see them. Can we go back to the 8 widgets, Marco?
Of course.
Because I want our participants to be aware that we maintain our promise.
Okay.
And one of our promises was simplicity.
Of course.
The 8 widgets are here, and just wanted to show you that we have graphics that we already checked in the first part of the webinar.
So I'll put it aside.
Yes,
The switcher
was
we're
shown.
already seeing.
What is layouts?
Oh, layouts. Yeah, what is layouts, Claudio?
Layouts is a chance to have different configurations changing also by the hour. So
Correct.
you could have a certain event being placed on the automation system, for example, making a sort of change in the layout, in the laws of the graphic behavior that we set.
Correct.
This can be interesting because, of course, if you have, for example, a news talk show, a news talk program, you want probably news to have even more graphics or carry more info than an ordinary news service, probably. And you can do this. Very good. You can do this. So you can have special programs, and you can have a special graphic behavior thinking of the changing of layouts that can be automatically based on the beginning of the new event.
The issue is if you have to do something different from one program to the other, right? So you have drive time at 6, and then you have news at 12. So instead of manually operating on the combination, you just create a button, right, Claudio? And with that button, you're actually changing graphics, changing behavior on the cameras, changing all the typical artistical parameters which are built with the press of the button. The button can actually be pressed by the radio playlist in the sense that usually you have a jingle which is introducing maybe your dry time program. In the jingle, you have a TCP IP command which tells DJ Pro to switch the layout. So actually, it's really, really automatic. You don't even have to press the button, right, Claudio? Okay.
We have Ventura Blanco saying hello. Thanks for everything, Claudio. I've got to go now. Bye.
Okay.
So thank you for saying hello before leaving. We appreciate this. Hello.
Thank you very much.
See you
have
next
a great
time.
Yeah, see you next time. Thank you.
Then we have
the camera as well. So this is just for the positioning the PTZ.
Yes.
So you are able to have 4 PTZ camera in the system. You can position and store 4 positions for each camera, and you use the widget actually to position the camera and to store the position that will be later used by the automatic slideshow camera feature. Okay.
Okay.
And this is a good one. What is this, Claudio? Do you remember?
Yes, this is something that concerns our security, because of course we can have some problems on the main server, on the on-air server. Just be able to check and to switch very quickly to the backup studio. This is, for example, the backup, the DJ Pro backup in our case. And if you have explosion happening on both the main studio and backup studio, then you can have an emergency from a folder. You have probably filled the folder with some video, some filling videos, and then you have them just running on the air.
Well, let me actually explain also what you accomplish with this. You're actually saving money. Why? Usually in a radio station, you will have multiple studios. So you can have 3, 4, 10 studios from which to go on air. Then there's a master changeover or master control who actually decides which studio is on air at a given moment. Let's say that the minimal configuration for a radio station is a main on-air studio, and then they have a production which can be used maybe also for backup. So if you have multiple studios, this does not mean that you have to buy multiple VJ Pros. The VJ Pro is a single system. Of course, you need cameras in both studios, and you need a video mixer which is able to accept the video input from the studio. But the single VJ Pro system can actually switch from one studio to the other according to where you're going on air, because you only need one VJ Pro for each TV channel that you want to manage. Of course, if you have two radio stations which are sharing studios, then you want to create a TV channel for each radio station, then of course you need one VJ Pro for each TV channel. But in this case, of course, for a single channel TV, one VJ Pro is enough, even if you have multiple studios. Of course, also VJ Pro can have its own redundancy. And you can use 1+1 redundancy. So you buy two VJ Pro systems, which will actually act as master and slave. So one VJ Pro will go on air, and then there's a changeover. If the changeover sees that no video or no audio is coming out from the VJ Pro, he will switch automatically to the second one. Or for more complex configuration, N+1 redundancy is also available. I have to say, though, that reliability is really, really high. I think the engine that we have in the VJ Pro is the same engine that we use in our TV automation, XTV and DG, among the most reliable automation products on the market. Of course, the reliability of the products depends on the reliability of the single components. Nowadays, computers are very reliable, operating systems are as well, so that the reliability is very high. Of course, if hardware breaks, you have to take into account. So that's why you usually can use a spare equipment. This is for people who are, let's say, concerned about reliability and redundancy.
I would like now to have another break with another person working in Axel technology. We saw Enrico before. We can't see him, I think, but there is Valerio Sibilla here listening. Valerio is the chief of software development here in Axel, and he is the one who manages approximately 8-10 programmers, I think, building software, creating new software. And of course, he has worked also, and he is thinking and working on VJ Pro. Valerio, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
I'm not hearing, I'm sorry, my volume probably is too low.
I am here.
Valerio, are you there?
Yeah, I am here. Can you listen me?
Yes, Valerio, very well, thank you.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
VJ Pro, tell us, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. I'm Valerio Sibilla. I am the head of the software department in Axel Technology. And as Claudio said, I manage a team of developers with 10 engineers, and we work every day with a lot of technology. I am available for any questions regarding the developments of new features of DJ Pro. For example, now we're working on integration with third-party systems. You know that our product is interfaced with our radio playout system, DJ Pro, the DJ Pro Classic and DJ Pro Enterprise. But now we are working to interface our VJ Pro with other radio playout systems. So the next development will concern new amazing features, I hope, and I am here for your questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you to you.
Thank you very much for being with us. I'm sure if anybody has questions, we'll certainly write them down. I'm checking also the chat here. You can also make questions, of course, via microphone if you prefer. And yes, I see a new question from Peter. So VJ Pro can be set at auto mode, and I use the classic DJ Pro to play out. It will just follow. Yes, you are there. This is the world. This is the new world.
Yeah, I always say that actually the radio guy, which actually maybe is talking into the microphone and changing the playlist on his radio automation DJ, he's unconsciously the video director. So he's actually the one which is actually taking care of the video output, but he doesn't even know. You can actually shut off the computer screen of the VJ Pro, and everything is set at auto mode. So whatever you do, whatever video clip, whatever you put on the news, you put on the time signal, you put on jingle, you put on a song, on air, it will always look like there's a video director there which is actually following. You turn on your faders, you turn on your microphones, what the system is doing is just start showing your cameras on there, and you will be starting and actually creating a video program which is always consistent. Imagine that we have a customer which at nighttime they want to create a different musical schedule for the radio and for the TV. What we have supplied to them is not a TV automation system to make a nightly schedule. We have supplied to them an additional DJ Pro, which is actually dummy. It's not playing any audio anywhere, but it's creating a musical playlist. And at night, the DJ Pro will connect to that dummy. So they don't need to spend in training and in video experience of any type. The radio station already has the knowledge and the tools to actually manage the radio station. And with the same knowledge and tools, they are actually managing at the same time a 24/7 TV channel play out. And that's the magic part of it. So that's why I was telling you the cost of ownership is very low. You are investing in your radio, you are inviting guests, you are spending money maybe to get big celebrities into your radio studio, you know, you're doing all this activity, which is expensive. Of course, it's part of the business. And what you're doing that you are reusing the same investment to actually go to another media. That's why business-wise, it's a model which makes a lot of sense for radio stations that want to expand and engage more with their listeners.
We have followed, of course, the startup of the first clients with video radio since 3-4 years ago, I think. And what we have seen, for example, in the case of Radio Company, and you will see on the stream we suggested to you, is that they started even selling advertising for TV only. So Marco already expressed how advertising can be managed in VJ Pro and can be even separated. And this is what Radio Company frequently does. They have a 30-second spot, for example, of a car dealer on radio. And at the same time, you can find probably on TV 2-minute a film regarding all the used car that a car dealer is selling. I think this is great. As Marco said, this is an enhancement, a development of your core business, and it brings you more coverage and more potential.
Right.
So visual radio is really another form of radio that must be definitely very much be studied.
Okay. One more aspect I want to insist on is the musical selection. For radio stations, the musical selection is something very, very important. There are radio stations which actually use not only Axel software, but actually third-party software. One of the most famous is an American software by RCS. I think it's called Selector, right?
Yes.
You know, Claudio knows that very well. It's very widespread, but it's also expensive. It's based on an annual fee, I think. And so, but this is to show that radio stations are investing real money into tools that will allow them to make an artistical selection of the music and the songs and the sequences and the time of day that all this goes on air. Actually, once you've done the selection, usually the artistic director actually takes a look at the schedule and makes manual interventions on specifically on the songs, and he actually modifies what the machine could not get right. Imagine that type of investment in money, but time, but the artistical, let's say, the artistical effect, the final, let's say, a solution, and let's say actually the beat of the radio station is simply copied directly to the TV station. So all that time and all the investment and the real, let's say, signature of the radio station, which is made
So
by that.
stations can be very consistent with their style on TV. They have just to be very focused and concentrated.
Correct.
Because this is easy to be translated.
So the thing is, the style you have on your radio, the signature that you have on your radio is just simply copied directly to the TV effortlessly. And that's why I'm saying that the system makes a lot of sense as an investment, as a business model, because it's really an inexpensive way. I don't want to say cheap, but without any cost of maintenance, you're getting a very, very high quality video on it. Of course, there's the cost of the investment, and I assure you that the simple cost of the VJ Pro, when you think about the video mixer, the cameras, the lighting, and the studio equipment, is just a fraction of the cost. Please talk to our sales guy, and they will send you a quotation. But at the end, that's not the real cost of the system. The real cost of the system is setting up and transforming your radio studio, which I'm sure is very nice, but setting it up as a TV studio, which does need a little modification. It has different, let's say, things to take into account, okay?
We have another question that we keep from Trace Gogov. I hope the pronunciation is not horrible. Sorry, I come late. Is Runcom connected with VJ Pro, and is DigiWare connected with VJ Pro?
Okay, the questions are very, very good, actually. I would say to the first one, yes. To the second one, no. And I will explain why. The Runcom is our advertisement management. And of course, it can be connected to the DJ Pro radio, okay? And you can create your advertisement breaks and send them to the DJ Pro. Of course, DJ Pro already built inside has a simple advertisement management system. So what if you add Runcom to the DJ and VJ universe, what you get is the ability to schedule completely independent breaks for radio and TV. So the Runcom, the answer is yes, it is connected to the VJ Pro, so it can create schedules that completely detach the VJ Pro from the DJ Pro, and this is the only moment actually when they really are detached. If you have a Runcom and you set up the system as a separate split area, I think that's what you call them in split areas, correct? The answer is the DigiWare connected to the VJ Pro. The answer, unluckily, is no. Why? Actually, the DigiWare is the playlist creation software that we use, made by Axel technology, that we use with the DJ Pro.
So there is no need for it.
Correct. The DigiWare creates the schedule for the DJ Pro, and simply the DJ Pro will play the same songs. I'll kind of go on with the question and say, what if I want a different playlist into VJ Pro and DJ Pro? And I was telling you, what we do provide a solution for this. We'll sell you a dummy license, low cost, for DJ Pro, which will not play to any audio card. It will just play on the computer, and you can tell and so you can create a separate playlist on that DJ Pro, and you can do it with DigiWare, and then you will just tell your DJ Pro to follow the dummy DJ Pro instead of the normal. Why? We have considered we produce TV automation systems, actually 2 or 3 of them. So we have the possibility of giving you a dedicated product to create independent playlists for automation, which is TV automation. What we don't want you to do is force you to get trained on those products, force you to get acquainted with those technologies that maybe you will only use at the nighttime. So we want to save that money and that time, and what you will do is just simply apply the same knowledge and the same, let's say, basic workflows that you're applying normally in your radio automation software. You will apply it 2 times, so you can have the desired effect. It's kind of a workaround, but a smart workaround.
Very good. No more questions coming. Gentlemen, if you want to make questions, you're still well, I was just saying no more questions, and here they are. Good. So let me read what's coming on. I think, thanks for answering from Trace. Thank you for your question. We really enjoy receiving questions from you. And again, Jean-Peter, hello. Is it possible to see a video preview in the scheduler?
Okay.
The step before the playlist in VJ Pro.
Yeah, let me show you something. Okay. Let me turn around here and do something like this.
Please look in the webcam, in Marco's webcam, okay?
This is the VJ Pro
increase
interface.
the size if
yeah,
you want.
this is the VJ Pro interface. Here I have the icon which is telling me if the video clip is present.
Okay.
We do not want to contaminate too much the radio automation with video technologies. Why? We want to preserve the concept that the radio guy is still only a radio guy. We don't want all your DJs to ask for raises. Okay, so we want it to stay as much as possible as a pure audio product. But let me go into the song database if I can find it. I think I have to go like this. Do a login, yes. Do a login. I just want to show you what happens. What is the only change that you will need to do in order to adopt the VJ Pro? And here it is. This is my song database. So for example, I go into Chandelier Sia. This is my typical audio radio automation data. And the extra data, what you see here is the name of the audio, the video clip. This is just one of the ways to accomplish this. This is called one-to-one audio video association. There are also some other algorithms, much faster. Let's say for the lazy technician, would actually go on there directly looking at the file name, and if the file name is usually title and author, he actually intercepts the right video clip directly from the file name. But the one-to-one database association is always better. Here we give you a tool. The tool is a free tool. It's called the X-Trimmer. We use this. Okay, yes. We use this, sorry about that, let me close this just a second. Okay, we use this tool to actually, in the TV automation, in actually to define mark-in and mark-outs of a clip. So what actually I'm moving right now is the video clip. On the top part, I get a representation of the audio file. So here I have from metadata from the audio file. This is not left and right. This is interesting. The waveform, which is usually used for left and right, we actually use the top part is the video, and the bottom part is the audio file, which is on the DJ Pro. So in this case, what you can do is you can actually listen to the video, to the DJ Pro audio, or to a mix of the two. And so with this tool, you're kind of intersecting and finding the correct marking and intros in order to get to the right synchronization. Not only, what you are doing is maybe modifying video parameters like aspect ratio. You can zoom in and zoom out a little bit in order to get the letterbox out. You can actually define audio levels for audio replay. So there's a tool, which is a typical video tool, which we integrate in order to just give you the video advantage. Once you close the tool, then the system becomes, again, a simple radio automation that will actually control the video automation. I'm not sure if I answered the question correctly. I hope I did.
I'm sure you did, Marco. Well, we are facing the end of the webinar, I would say. We're stepping towards the end. If you have more questions, please feel free to ask. If you do agree with me, Marco, I would like to sort of recap the main points of VJ Pro.
Okay.
So the reason why is homes, large monitors, marketing development, more coverage, okay, competition,
multimedia, cross-platform promotion,
exactly,
more engagement to the listeners, which we can become viewers, right?
Maintaining the style, because the style is coming from the sync of the radio station into the sync of the DJ Pro system.
Correct.
Then the two main promises are, okay, thank you guys, coming from Jean-Peter from the
thank you
question.
very much.
We're glad we answered in an interesting way for you. And the promises are radio commands, radio rules, number one, and radio does not change its organization. I think these two promises have been maintained during all the explanation.
Correct.
Anything you saw is thought following these two rules, and definitely I think we maintain them.
Very good.
Apart from that, we have seen a very simple system with 8 widgets, as you saw,
Okay.
and with the simplest way of interfacing to your automation system and to your mixing console as well.
Sure.
So it's just a matter of stepping into this new world. I think there is a time-consuming aspect that is, of course, loading the videos,
Setting up the studio with the cameras and the lights. But once this is done,
you're done.
You're done. You can turn your automation, go on vacation, and you know that on video you'll get exactly the same artistic style of
no
the
increase
right?
in operational costs, guys.
Correct.
No, this is a promise coming from our 2 main promises. And so
Correct.
once the investment is done, you're done.
Correct.
And I think this is very attractive and must be done quickly. I think it's more a matter of creativity and will than of budget.
Correct. Correct. And then, of course, what's the goal? The goal is to go on TV, satellites, terrestrial, cable, but not only go onto your website where people can log in while they're at the office, and maybe they can look, not only listen to their favorite hosts and guests of their favorite programs. And do remember the app. So I have a Radio Bruno app here, and I've got my radio station is here, but if I want to see the TV, I just go like this, or sorry, it would be like this, and as you see, the streaming is on air immediately. So also applications, iPhone, iPad, portable device, that's what young kids like to look at. So you do have to focus on that aspect as well. And imagine inside the application, these guys do not only have that, they have chats, they have news, they have info. They kind of try to add all this information. All this information can be collected into a single, let's say, server. And remember, you can push that information with the graphics on there. So actually creating also your TV channel as an info channel. So it's it can evolve. This is the point. It can get bigger and nicer.
One more point about the philosophy. If you are an old timer like me, you think of radio about the theater of the mind. You think of radio about the arena of fantasy. So, wow, why video added to radio? Why imagine attached to the imagination medium? You must be think very simple. Video is not causing hypnosis to the listeners. They just have this as a background. If they find something interesting in your programming, the song, the host, the news, they can increase their attention and have a look of what's going on. So I think that the radio mode is not changed at all. You just give to listeners following through video a chance of deepening a little bit the relation with the content. That's all. This is not the end of the imagination. It's not the end of fantasy. Not at all. It's just a different output that can, of course, be very, very much appreciated by a certain kind of users, young people, but not only. We saw that in any case, also in the 35, 55 target, we have visual radio being accessed by homes in an interesting way, in great quantities. In Italy, for example, let me tell you that we have approximately 4.5 million people receiving visual radio every day, and the total is 35 million. So it's a nice percentage of people using radio through visual radio. And this is something that I think will increase in this country and in nearby countries. We have Tracy talking about, yes, radio vision. Exactly. Well, a nice way to see visual radio as well.
Correct. We call it visual radio, but I mean, it's a synonymous. I think radio vision. I hear some people that talk about radio vision.
Yes.
I think it's the same thing. What I think is a little different is the philosophy in which Axel actually proceeded to this, you can find a lot of systems out there which are actually production systems targeted to radio that allow you to switch in between cameras and picture-in-picture. What they really are video production tools in which you're doing a live show, you turn on the system, you use the system to switch your cameras, and then you turn the system off. This is very different. This is a TV automation system. It's designed to go on air and stay on air 24/7. You turn it on and you forget it. So that's why the concept is different from these production tools, these advanced radio, video production, or video mixers. Here, the integration is done to the automation, to the console, and it's just not a matter of GPI, it's a matter of producing a signal that is always constant, all year round, like the TV, like the signal that you're expecting to get from your TV set or your satellite channel. And that's the major difference. So yes, it's radio vision, yes, it's visual radio. Of course, it's the Axel concept. Why? We produce radio automation systems, we produce TV automation systems, CG and character graphics machine, logging machine. So we're in the 24/7 process. We're into the reliability, into, okay, I'm buying an automation, I'm buying it sometimes to increase quality, sometimes to save money, sometimes to kind of standardize my workflow. That's what an automation system actually allows you to do, right? So in this case, the DJ Pro Visual Radio is an automation system in that sense. It makes better quality on air. It rationalizes your workflow, and most of all, it allows you to save on expenses because it's always on air 24/7.
Great. A few comments also about Axel technology. I don't know if you know or you know the company. It is based in Italy. We served 120 countries around the world, and we are now talking to you, thanking to this webinar, directly from its main site in Bologna. We have also other offices based in other parts of Italy for our programming department, for our programmers to work. And we are at all big events about radio and television, about any big convention around the world. We just came from IBC. I think the next one is Broadcast Asia, so you can find us in any big convention around the world. So I think that's it. We have no more questions.
Okay, so thank you. We can start thanking everybody for their attention. I hope we succeeded in explaining a concept more than a product, okay? If you're interested, remember to contact our sales department at sales@axeltechnology.com, or just contact the favorite person of your sales department. Claudio and I are available also for further technical questions of any sort. Just get in touch with us, okay? And Claudio, what else?
And if you don't mind, you will receive a link to a survey. We want to increase the quality of our webinars, so please tell us what we can do to do this better, or tell us what you would like to maybe see or listen the next times we will have webinars. This is not the last VJ Pro webinar we will have. We will come with a 2.0 edition in some months probably, but any suggestions are welcome. And please, if you can, please go to the link we will send you and answer the questions if possible. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you guys. See you next time.
Bye-bye.